Absolutely. Now, Dalton, this next pick, I am selfishly the most interested in the entire mock draft. I have been a diehard New Orleans Saints fan since I was 7 years old growing up in New Orleans. I have supported my Saints the entire time. It hurts me that we are picking this high in the draft, but at number 8, I wanted to give you this pick because I am really interested to see what you're going to think that my Saints are going to go with this pick.
I I've been going receiver a lot here in this kind of scenario. I think Mansour Delane if he was on the board would be a possibility. I so often let Caleb Downs drop to number 10 too to Cincinnati, or even 9 to Kansas City. You could certainly take him with the next pick. I wouldn't blame you. And I wonder if he would fit in New Orleans too. I wonder if I change this up because there is a good amount of receiver depth that they could attack later. I've been going receiver a lot. If I was going receiver right here, I'd probably go Mekhi Lemon. I just love him. I know he's a little undersized, but he's tougher than you expect him to be. He makes contested catches. He makes people miss with the ball in his hands. Do I want to change it up and make my life I could make life really hard for myself with the 10th pick there. I sure could. And
Tell
with
me about the
Delane,
combine. Tell me about Lemon at the combine. Can you expand a little bit more on that one? You saw him, I think, right?
just kind of that loose wide receiver, LA-ish personality. I think very relaxed, and I think look. I don't think it's anything wrong with his character or anything like that. I think you're just talking about a guy who knows he's good at football and he's got a lot of swagger, right? So I think wide receivers, especially, we certainly have a long history of wide receivers sometimes being a little bit different. So that doesn't concern me at all because when you watch him on tape, guy's an animal. He's an absolute. He didn't win the Biletnikoff Award for nothing, and he's got some stiff competition there with guys like Jeremiah Smith. But am I going need or am I? God, I do. I love Caleb Downs. I'm gonna. I'm gonna go with Caleb Downs. I'm gonna mix it up. I've been going receiver so often for this team, and I'll probably continue to do so for the next 3 weeks. Give me Caleb Downs, I think, to fit in with Justin Reed, with Jonas Sanker. And Downs, you know what it is? The number of different roles he can play in. If you want him in the slot, if you want him back free in different situations, and you just talk about this team losing Alontae Taylor as the nickel as well, Downs can play any role that you want him to. I think highly enough that he could be in consideration for a top 5 pick, right? And I think when you talk about a guy that can just play any role and be a leader in a defense and just kind of be this force multiplier who makes everybody around him better, it gets harder and harder for me to pass him up. I wouldn't let him get by 10. If somehow he got by 10, I wouldn't let him get by 12 to Dallas. I just think he's one of the few guys in this draft who all 32 teams would love to have. I'll take him to New Orleans to mix it up.
Man, I love that. I would love to have Caleb Downs on my favorite team. Got to see him in the secondary. New Orleans always prioritizes secondary. Kellen Moore has always said he wants to take the best player that's available. He's not going in with the mind that he has to have a certain player at 8. And it's hard to argue that Caleb Downs is not the best player there at number 8. Pretty pumped up on the pick, man. And for me, it was between Downs, who I expect to be available, Ruben Bain, who would be just a wrecking ball of that defensive line out there. And then you mentioned, I'm torn on Mekhi Lemon. I think he's exactly the kind of receiver that the Saints want to move the chains. Tyler Shuck wants to throw it 10, 12 yards, just kind of move, you pick up the first downs. But is it too early for him? Maybe it is. I cannot fault Caleb Downs there. It's a perfect pick for the Saints.